is the 2 Up, 2 Down podcast. This is the 5th episode. We are off and running. Today we have 2 special guests. We have Juston and Brittany Burris in the house. I appreciate you guys showing love and letting us record the podcast at your place.
Of course.
This is definitely a special episode because today we have our first female guest on the podcast, so we're extremely excited. But I wanted to get into the Next Stop Collective. I know this is a business that you guys have been working on for a couple years now. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I'll let you kick it. Who's going to go first?
Yeah, so I mean, this kind of all started out of our love for hosting, traveling, just going and, seeing new things, seeing new places. It was all born out of Asheville, North Carolina, which is our favorite place to go. We've been going since college.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful place, whether you want to go downtown, go to restaurants, breweries, or you want to go hiking, kind of go, do the outdoors thing. So it's kind of has a bunch of different things. And we, that's kind of where we got our start.
Yeah, we started with the one house and we're like, let's just get a house where we like to travel to. So did that, put it on Airbnb, just kind of thought, let's just see what happens with it. And here we are a couple properties later and just rolling right along. So
I like that. How many properties do you guys currently have?
So
it's a loaded question.
Yeah, depending on how you count, but we have about 2 active, and then 3 to 4 more that we're either renovating or building, or just in the process of getting up and running.
Yep.
Nice.
So when you guys get a house, what exactly are you looking for? Are you trying to find a house that like you can renovate and build up, or are you mainly looking for things that are already like super nice and modern?
Do we like the city?
That's
it. Do we enjoy the city? No, I mean it's definitely something that we've the renovation side is something that we've started to really love.
Yeah.
Just creating something new. Putting our own spin on something, putting our own touches on a house, not just having some turnkey that someone else kind of did. I think just having that personal touch, I think carries over into the experience that our guests have, something that we built. I think it, kind of that energy kind of rubs off. So I think that's kind of where we're going with it. We like the design. She's a great designer, and just something that we love to do.
Yeah, and we laugh, like it is about location, right? But I feel like our wants and needs have kind of developed over time. Like we used to want that turnkey, let's get it on Airbnb. And now like we've seen how much we love interior design and like making selections and building it from scratch. So I feel like our wants have shifted as we've continued to kind of build the company out. And now we're building a beach house from scratch. So it's funny how, your passions kind of develop and change over time.
Yeah.
I like that. Who came up with the name? That's a sharp name, Next Stop Collective.
Well, no, it was, you want to tell like the original?
Well, it started
like
out,
both of us. But.
Yeah, it kind of started out as Next Stop Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that was just something that, we liked North Carolina. We liked Charleston, South Carolina. So Next Stop Carolina. But then, I'm from Virginia. I've been going to the mountains of Virginia all my life, and an opportunity came up to go to Wintergreen, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Next Stop Carolina didn't work anymore.
We were like, oh man,
so we had to figure out something else, and she came up with the brilliant idea of let's just keep Next Stop. What's your next stop, and then let's add collective to it. So that's kind of how we got the name Next Stop Collective now.
I love the name story too because it kind of just shows the business of how our thought process was. Like it started small and local, and we were just like, this would just kind of be fun. And then I love that we had to change the name. I'm like, this is growth. Like this is amazing. So I'm proud of our name now. I feel like it has a cool story to it.
Yeah. Do you guys do any of the renovations yourself, or do you just stick with the contractors?
No, we ain't got that far
yet.
No,
you guys might get your own HD TV show once you start doing that.
Never say never. Never say never.
We love that, but I don't. We're not too handy yet.
Yeah.
We do some small things, but
we like to rely on people, the professionals. Yeah, we know what we're good at and what we're not good at. But I was joking, my sister just getting her first short-term rental going, and she's like, hey, I need you to come help me. And I was in there like hands and knees, like scraping paint off a window. And I was like, I've never even done this for our own properties. Like, this is crazy. So it's cool to like dabble in it, but no, we know what we're good at, and that's not it.
We have great ideas.
Yeah.
We need other people to implement them. So
yeah, exactly.
What's been the toughest part about the whole process?
Whew. That's also a loaded question.
I think you probably have something different than I would. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's like all on how you look at it. Like, I think we've just learned as we go. And I think like just thinking what I would tell somebody when they're starting out is like, just rely on people who've already been in your shoes. And like, that's what we're trying to do now, is just kind of like be that mentor for people who want to do what we do. And like, I don't feel like we really had that. So we've had to figure a lot out as we've continued to grow. And we're wrapping up our first full home reno. And,
wow.
you know, we did a mini reno, and I was like, this is fantastic. Like, this is great. And not when you have a 1980s home and you're like pulling up walls and the carpet, and like, you know, it just opens a whole new can of worms. So I just feel like, you know, just really try to like rely on those people who have done what you've done and learn from them. And mistakes are costly. So, I could kick myself for some of the mistakes we've made, but now, you know, we're able to kind of show other people like, hey, don't do X, Y, and Z. So that's been the hardest thing for me, is just like knowing we have to make those errors and learn from them.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm more of the back end guy. So she does the design. She designs the place. And I'm trying to find the deals. Like, I like going on Realtor.
Nice.
I like going, trying to figure out what's our next move. Kind of the finance guy, and see where we can go with that. Mm-hmm. So obviously with, COVID happening and just this market, how crazy it's been hard to find those deals. It's been hard to find something that works. So, going every night, I'm a big guy. I love going on Realtor. I love trying to find, new areas. Yeah. So, it's been kind of tough to figure out what's next, where we want to go next. So that's kind of been my hardest part, is trying to figure out, like, just keep going, just keep looking. Something will come up, a deal will come along. So
that brings up a good point. I changed my mind. The hardest thing we've been through was COVID, because we launched our first Airbnb, I think, January 2020. Mm-hmm. And then the world shut down. So it was like, all right, we've just like started this new venture and nobody's traveling. Yeah. So
I think we got three. I think we got three bookings, and then everything just shut down. And
so that was scary. I mean, like, you've got a mortgage to pay. Who thinks that's going to happen to you? So I think we kind of went through the worst of it up front, and we kind of look at new markets and properties in a different way now, just kind of thinking through, like, okay, if this ever happened again, like, are people still going to want to travel to this location? So that was the hardest.
And I think that's where you pivot. That's like where you try to find an exit strategy, trying to find an exit plan. And our pivot was, hey, there's a lot of people that are just sitting at home.
Yep.
They need to go somewhere else to work. Just sitting at home, you don't want to stay at home all day. So a lot of people were, hey, I just want to go and spend a month and a half working from a new place. Yeah.
Change of scenery,
so that's kind of how we started marketing it, as, hey, come work from here. It's a new place you can go and, hike and whatever and be outdoors. Yeah. So that's kind of how we kind of pivoted.
The number one guest question was, how good is your Wi-Fi? Like, that whole year was just like, how's my Zoom call going to go? So, we just had to pivot, and we kept going, and it worked out.
Is there anyone on social media that you guys like follow and use to learn? Like, I know there's like this guy Grant Cardone, and there's like a dude named like Grant Stevens, and like, do you guys watch any of those to try to like?
So I've watched Grant Cardone, and he's big on not owning anything, not owning.
He's into the apartment complex.
And he doesn't own his own home. Like, he says he only rents. So that's kind of a different thinking than we had, obviously. But I watch a lot of YouTube guys. Raw Built was one that he's big in the Airbnb, bigger pockets.
Yeah, that's like our go-to.
So those are kind of the guys that I look at that are.
I'm all like design pages. Yeah. I'm McGee & Co. and like just looking for my thing now is just like really cool like TikToks and Reels, and just seeing how people are showing like before and afters and stuff. So I get on a whole loophole going through stuff. But we definitely have like our go-tos, but we've tried to learn through them too, and kind of want to do the same thing and kind of get our thoughts out there too. So
I wanted to ask about the logo and designs. I like it. It's sharp. Are you guys selling those hats, or can we get one of those? Can we cop? Where do we go to buy?
Merch dropping soon.
Okay, merch dropping soon.
We're trying to get it on our website. We've been pushing hard on our website and just kind of getting everything integrated on there. So our next big push is definitely hats. We've got some shirts. We've got some cool like Yetis and things like that that we're trying to get out there to everybody. So yes, they are coming soon.
Awesome.
Do you guys have like obviously you're growing, but do you have like kind of like in your head an idea of a certain amount of homes that you'd want to eventually own, or like 20 would be the max we want? You know what I mean?
I feel like so many people ask us this question too.
Yeah,
Guess you just
I don't
keep going
think-
until you.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many places that we haven't even visited yet that we, I went to Savannah last 2 months ago for
Yeah.
the first time. She took me down there, and that's a new place that was close to Charlotte that I hadn't even been to. And there's just so many places in the U.S. that we want to visit that we probably would fall in love with.
Oh, yeah.
And so Savannah's on our list. Like
We
I'm
love
like, I
Napa.
gotta get down there.
So
Are they
that's-
just in Carolina right now?
No,
No.
Virginia,
Okay.
and North Carolina,
Yep.
and then we're looking in South Carolina right
Yep.
now.
Nice.
So our thing was like, let's start close, like a drivable location, but I can see us definitely expanding like West Coast. I would love to even go international one day.
Wow.
So I don't, there's not a number. There's not like a special number, but I think we'll just keep going until we can't go anymore.
Yeah. So is there anything else you guys are involved in, like crypto or like stocks or anything like that? Sticking with
Got a lot going on. Busy.
I've tried to listen on crypto. Haven't gotten into it yet, but I've had numerous conversations about it. But no, I haven't got into any of that yet.
No,
But
he's
we're
the
pretty much-
financial guy. I just do the design stuff, so I know nothing about any of that. I wish I like knew more and was more passionate about it, but I'm just like, all right, I'll let you handle that.
Yeah. I was actually an accounting major, so that's kind of
okay.
like what planted the seed in my mind of like, all right, I need to, once I get a job, start putting money in things that are gonna, give me income outside of just your 9 to 5.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm not too involved in crypto either. I dabble a little bit, like in little Ethereum and Bitcoin, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did Bitcoin years ago when it was, I want to say it was at 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone 5 or 6 years later it'd be at 60. What was it? 62 or 60?
Yeah, I think at the
63
peak
or
it was
something?
like 66
Something
or
like-
something.
If I would have even got it, I
Yeah.
thought 14, 15K was crazy. I'm like, nah, I'm not buying 14K. But then to go up,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah. My roommate in college actually, this was probably like 2014, 2015. We were at the gym, and that's like the first time when we like opened up brokerage accounts and were like getting involved in stocks and stuff. We had no idea what we were doing, but and I remember at the gym he was like, "Yo, we should just put a little bit in this thing called like Bitcoin." Like I don't know exactly what it was at back then, but I'm sure it was like no more than $1,000. And I was just like, I don't know, that sounds kind of dumb. Yeah. Like, we didn't have that much money either, but it's just crazy if we did it. Like, probably have a stupid amount of bread right now.
That's funny.
I got a funny story about Bitcoin. So I played football at NC State, and I know you remember this. Like my junior year, our bowl game.
yeah.
Our bowl game was called the Bitcoin Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Down in St. Petersburg, Florida.
And I was like,
I'm like, what is the Bitcoin Bowl? It was the one and only year. You can look it up. One and only year we had the Bitcoin Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is a Bitcoin? So a couple years later, I'm like, this thing is trading crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I'd have known back then what actual Bitcoin was,
Crazy.
So,
Yeah.
nah, it was cool.
Yeah. I remember.
So I know you're from Virginia, right?
Well, I was raised in Raleigh, North Carolina, but I was born in Virginia.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Brittany?
Raleigh, born and raised. Yeah.
Where'd you guys meet? Well, I know you guys just recently got married, right?
Yes.
How was the wedding? Tell me about that. How are things?
Amazing. Everything was amazing. I like this question because there's always like, you never know what you're going to get on the answer. But we've known each other since middle school.
Wow.
So we went
Way back.
Way back. We went to middle school, high school, and college together. So I love telling that. But we didn't start dating until college. So it was, he did the football thing. I was a cheerleader. We knew of each other. Same kind of mutual friends and whatnot. But the love didn't begin until college. So NC State was like where it all went down.
Yeah.
But so our parents still live less than 5 minutes from each other.
Wow.
So we kind of grew up in the same area, and we love Raleigh and love Charlotte too. So is that your story? Or
That's it.
he's like, I'll just let her take that one.
Nah, that's it.
No, we joke because he's like, I don't remember you in middle school. I'm
No,
like,
I
"Bro,
remember we
literally went to the same middle school."
we didn't know each other like that in
middle school? But
High
you went to
school,
the same middle school?
high school, we were definitely friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So high school was like really what I counted.
Yeah,
as.
and we were a grade different too. So
So who talked to who first?
I like that question.
Well, we were. I mean, like I said, we were friends in high school.
Yeah.
So she went to NC State first, and then I came the next year.
Okay.
So I think we just saw each. No.
Yeah, we saw each other on campus.
No. We saw each other at a bar.
It was like, wait, I
The
remember
real
that.
truth comes out.
The real truth.
Yeah.
I got her into a bar. She was older than me, but
he
I
was
got
trying
her
to
into
shoot
a
a
bar.
shot. Yeah,
Okay.
he was trying to shoot a shot.
Yeah,
So,
loud and clear.
but you know when you see somebody familiar, like
Yeah.
you know you hadn't seen him in forever, you go to college and you're like, oh my God, there's so and so. Like it's like, wow, I know him. So it was kind of one of those moments, and then like we just hit it off after that.
And we just started, for some reason, we started seeing each other more
Yep.
at in the brickyard, and then kind of just started hanging out, and that was it.
Yeah. Now we're married and living the dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the Panthers this year, man? Y'all about to go crazy? Or?
Hey, man, you see that defense is looking good.
Looking real good.
We see that
21
Yeah.
0 the other day. But no, I think we got the right man for the job. Just what Coach Rule is preaching, just not even as a football player, not even as a football coach, just as a man. The things he says, I kind of share some of the stuff that he's shared with us, with her, and he's just an amazing person, let alone a coach. So I think the sky's the limit for the Panthers. And I think we're gonna have a great season.
Y'all got a bake show too now.
Yeah, he has that confidence, man. I actually played with Baker back in Cleveland, but
Okay.
he's a great guy. He's a great leader.
Yeah.
To be behind, and we know he's gonna do his thing. So definitely confident in him. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Team looks good.
So how many years have you been in the league now?
So this will be 7.
Okay.
There's 7.
Old vet.
Yeah.
So being
Definitely an
a,
old vet, man.
being a 7-year vet, I guess, what's some of the advice that you give to the younger guys coming in?
It's kind of a little backwards advice. Start thinking about the end now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I preach, is because you're never gonna be as noticeable as you are right now. Like the NFL has a huge platform, and once you don't have that attached to your name, like it's kind of harder to get people to talk to you. So right now, just go out and try to do as much as you can in a positive light. If you want to start a business, go do it while you have this time. If you want to go meet with some CEO of a company, go do it right now, because you have that platform, or you have that recognition behind you. So and I don't mean to say start thinking about the end now as in, I can be done next year, but like just start trying to get those things. So as soon as you are done, you can, kind of transition quickly.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, is like trying to wait a few years to say, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you start getting into those savings, and, that saving starts to go down a little bit. So try to figure it out, and have something that when you're done, like you can hit the ground running.
Yeah. I love that about Juston too, because he got drafted in 2016, and it was like I feel like you were 2 months in and you were like, I need to, like, we're gonna do something after football. Like I got to figure out what is that. Like I want to like go back to school, or like start learning new things. And from day one he was like, this isn't gonna last forever. Like I need to have like my next plan in life, and so like that's why this company is so great. Like he's found his passion, and he's like, he puts his all into it, but he puts his all on the field, and so he's smart about it, which I love that.
So you were drafted in 2016. You were a 4th-round draft pick. I know you've played on Cleveland, and you were drafted by the New York Jets, correct?
Yeah.
I want to know what the feeling was like when you got that phone call, because I know you play at a younger level, and you play high school, you play college. So when you got that phone call, you've been putting in the work. So what did it feel like to finally be like, okay, look, I made it?
Man, it was a rush of emotions, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a big crier, so it was like I didn't think I would cry or anything. But it's just like, as soon as you get that call, man, it's like all the hard work you put in, all the years of the sprints, and getting hit and losing and winning, and just all the emotions of that you go through, and now to finally kind of be at that ultimate level, to finally say that I made it. Was just a rush of emotions, man. And I just sat back, just heard that phone call, and you can.
I was sitting right there.
It was just like
crazy,
man. Just broke down. It was it was a very emotional moment for me and my family. It was just a culmination of just hard work, man. Just a lot of dog days of summer. A lot of didn't know if I was gonna make it. Didn't know if I was gonna continue to play. So it was a, like I said, rush of emotions.
Yeah,
Did you have any idea of, like, if you didn't end up playing in the NFL, what you were going to do after college?
Well, yeah. So I was, I had all these ideas of maybe, going to get my MBA. I had a law school. I was at the time I was getting my degree in finance. So I was like maybe go to business school, try to figure it out. But I'm glad it worked out. But I had a lot of ideas of what I wanted to do. Didn't have just one because I couldn't pin it down. But had a lot of ideas. But
yeah, those couple of days of the draft are just. I mean, I can't imagine how he felt. I was like on pins and needles, but you get like rumors like, oh, so and so wants you or whatever, and like, I mean, you're just sitting there watching the TV, like, name after name after name, and like,
and that's the hardest part. You're just seeing guys that, oh man, I thought I was better than him, or he didn't have the stats that I had, or he didn't play the competition that I played. Like seeing those guys, get drafted before you. But you also got to look at it, man. It was a blessing, man, just to be where I was. I didn't,
Absolutely.
Some guys got drafted before me. It was fine. I had to kind of hone myself in and just say, man, you are blessed right now. To even have a team that wants you.
Absolutely.
There's only a few spots on the NFL roster, so
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta take this blessing and run with it, and don't take it for granted.
A funny story about that, though, is we had probably 20 people in the room or something, maybe 25, 30, I don't know, and people's phone kept going off, and
oh man,
we were getting so mad. It was like, you're just waiting for that phone call, so it's like you hear a ringing, you're
Turn
like,
your
oh
phones
my
off.
god, yeah. we were just going at everybody like, turn your phones off, please. So finally his lit up, and everybody went crazy. But
who'd you speak to? Who called you?
So first was Todd Bowles. That's who I talked to first, and Mike McCagnon was the GM, and then those are two I talked to.
Obviously, football is a high contact sport, so I'm sure you go to all the games. Do
yeah.
the nerves set in when you're watching him play? You're like, oh my god, I don't want him to get hurt.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, I think last year was probably like the scariest time. I think when you broke your ribs, like the cart came out, and I was just okay, and like I had no idea what was going on. Like it took a while for me to figure out what was happening. You can't just like run down there,
Exactly.
So yeah, it's hard to watch, but it's part of the sport.
Yeah.
Who on the team currently, like any big names that like you're super, super close with?
Man, I would say I'm pretty close with most of the defense. Pretty much all the defense. We're a very tight-knit group, especially the DBs.
He's the old guy in the room now.
I am the oldest
DB
now. So, I'm Unc, or I'm OG. It's they joke with me a lot, but it's like I said, it's a blessing to be in the league this long, and they know that, they say that all the time. But I just think we're a close knit group, man. We're especially the DBs, everybody. We've been together now 3 years. Some guys have been there longer, but just us together been there 3 years, so we're a very tight knit group.
You've played with so many good people though, like in 7 years. I mean, you came in with Darrelle Revis, like that was his mentor. Like that first year, like it's crazy to see like just all the names and faces and people you meet and get to learn from and grow from. So it's cool.
What was some of the advice that Darrelle Revis gave you?
I would say I was more. I was just watching what he did.
Absolutely.
He's a guy that's not a huge talker, but he shows you exactly what it takes to be the number one corner or the best corner to ever play the game, and just his just how he worked throughout the week, just his how he watched film, how he went about practice. This guy, man, I've seen him jump a route, and I'm like, how did you even know that was coming?
Yeah.
And like he's running the route for the receiver. And even when he got up to year 10, year 11, he was still able to do some of the things that made him a dominant corner. After he had maybe wasn't as fast or couldn't move as well. So just that ability to be smart will carry you a long way in this league. That's why a lot of guys play 14, 15 years when they've probably lost a step. They're not running that 4.3 or 4.4 that they did when they came out, because they're able to diagnose a play quicker than someone who probably did run a 4.4 is just coming into the league. So it's all about learning the game and continue to learn concepts, continue to learn how these offenses are evolving. So
yeah, we have a buddy who he played at Tech, and he was briefly like for the summer on the Broncos. Okay. And so he got to meet and play with Von Miller that summer, and he was telling us that like being around him, he learned more about the game than he felt like he did like his whole life.
Wow.
When you came into the league, like did you feel the same way where you were just learning like so much so fast that you never even thought about?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I came in, I went to NC State, played corner all 5 years, and there's a difference between playing corner and safety. Like corner is strictly, physical ability, running. I got that guy. You're man to man. Obviously, you have to be smart, but safety, you have to put that corner in the right position. You have to put that will linebacker in the right position. You have to communicate. You have to call things out. You have to call out down to this. You have to call out situation. And that's where I had to learn. And once I transitioned to safety, that's where I had to learn and be better. I had to talk to these guys about, like I said, with Coach Rule, he talks about the middle eight, the final five. He talks about all these situational football, things that I had to learn that I didn't know in college. I was just, I got him. I'm man to man on him. And we're going downfield. So just those things that you got to learn just by playing football. It only comes with reps. It only comes with experience. It only comes with actual game time decisions. So those things I had to learn as soon as I got in, which, like I said, carries you a long way once you know.
Who inspired you to play growing up? Did you have somebody close knit in the family that really pushed you?
We're just a big sports family. Even my mom, who she jokes all the time. She was a little league cheerleader. That was it. She didn't make her high school team, but she's always been big in sports, and she was the first person to put me in sports. And then from there, from my uncles, cousins. Got cousins who played college football. Got an uncle who played college basketball. Got a little brother who hopefully,
oh wow,
he's gonna be good enough to go to the next level. So
really,
yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, we're just a big sports family, and that was just something that Saturday college football was big. Sunday football was big. Always used to have people over, cookouts, and watching the game. So it was just something we always did. Something that it wasn't even a question, was I going to play sports? It was something that, just wanted to do all the time.
Yeah, your family's so good. Like every practice, whatever it took, like somebody needed to go pick them up or whatever. Like I always hear those stories. They're like, we just did whatever it took to make them happy and play a sport.
When you're out on the field, are you more of like a trash talker? Are you trying to get in somebody's head? Are you just more of like, let me stick to the game?
Yeah, I'm very rarely will I talk trash.
Okay.
I'm not I'm trying to get back and figure out the next play and try to get everybody. I try to be like the quarterback of defense, talking to everybody. But as far as talking to the team, you got to really get me mad or do something like. But I don't really talk too much now.
Every now and then I'll like see him. And I'm like, oh, okay. All
but
right,
there was probably you probably saw that play, and there was probably 10 other plays where I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
He just started egging it on. So it was. But no, I'm not a big trash.
He's a silent killer.
Do you have any stories where you were playing like obviously an opposing team where somebody really like pushed your buttons? You said something to them, somebody on offense. He's been there for 7 years.
Who does talk no shit?
Yeah, who does talk no trash?
I think the biggest trash talkers are obviously receivers. Like they are just some of the most just arrogant people. Receivers are just arrogant. That's just, it is what it is. And they make one little catch, one little 5-yard catch,
and they start yapping.
They think they just broke a record just with 5-yard catch. So. That kind of eats me up a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, I don't let too much get to me. Let's play the next play. Go do it again. Mm-hmm. You make a play. Let's go do it again. Then.
Is there a team that you don't like playing, or you play them? You're like, we definitely got to beat these guys.
I will say when I was in Cleveland, man, I was only there for 2 years, but just those rivalries in the AFC North between Cleveland and. Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Baltimore and Cincinnati, man, those were some fun games. Like it was cold, it was smash mouth football, but you could tell the crowd was in it. You could tell those people who grew up in Cleveland, grew up in Pittsburgh, grew up in Cincinnati, that's their team, and they come out and they show support. And just that conference was a lot of fun to be around. It got back to those like college rivalries when NC State would play UNC or Clemson or Florida State, like those true rivalries of like people who grew up and they grew up fans. That was great to see. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I want to go back to what you were saying about how you were telling, or you always tell players to prepare for life after football. I was watching a documentary on ESPN. I think it might have just been called like Broke. But it's basically talking about how like, I don't even know, it was a crazy stat, like 60-70% of athletes go broke like within a couple of years after. Do the teams provide like resources to kind of like bring that awareness to players and teach them things that they can get involved in business wise, like outside of just the game? Or is it kind of just like really they just leave it up to them to?
It's more so, I think it's more so on a basic level. So basic financial literacy level. It's not anything where they would say, this is how you should go invest your money.
Yeah.
Or this is the things to look for. It's very, like I said, it's how to pick a financial advisor, which is smart. It's how to, it's hard to explain because it's really not on a level where I would be comfortable saying, okay, you have enough financial literacy to go and make your own investments.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's not great. I would say that, but it's definitely for someone who's coming in who doesn't have a financial background. It's more of a safeguarding, like don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, instead of saying, hey, this is what you should do. This is how you should do it. This is how you should go work with. This is so I think in that regard, it's give and take. I'd say.
I mean, like one of the first things you did was get a financial planner. Like he was calling guys that went before him and were like, hey, who do you use? Like, I mean, you were on top of it, but not everybody's thinking about that, you know? Like they're like, I got to go suit up. Like I got to go get ready.
I mean, when you're coming from a situation that maybe your parents or nobody in your family like has a whole lot of financial knowledge, like who do you trust?
Yeah.
Like how do you know where to go to? And you got people that, you know, you're coming into a lot of money. Like it's going to be a lot of people who want to take advantage of you. So like, how do you navigate like who is there, who is trustworthy? And one of my biggest things was I had teammates before me who I was very close with. Like, hey, who's your agent?
Yeah.
How do you like them? What do they do for you? Who is your financial advisor? So both of my agent and my financial advisor I got from people who I had known previously, who I'd had dealings with at NC State. So that's kind of how I got started, and they, you know, we have a great relationship, and just continue to learn, like try to do my own, you know, go read books or go watch YouTube or try to figure out on my own, like, hey, this isn't right, or, you know, so.
Yeah. I mean, you clearly seem like someone, you know, that's very smart with your money. And
absolutely
intelligent. But I do want to say, what's the biggest flex? Has there ever been a time where, you know, you got a new deal or something and you're like, all right, I'm about to just go crazy on this?
I think that.
Oof,
besides the houses, I don't think I've made too big of a purchase.
You've dabbled in a couple cars here and there.
Yeah, I mean,
some nice chains.
I saw the matte black Jeep out front.
that was the chain on the chain is icy.
Yeah.
That I think my Jeep was my first thing that I got. I got that my third year, and that was kind of like something I just always wanted. I wanted to trick out a Jeep. So
you kind of started like, I mean, even before Airbnb, like, you know, you bought the condo. Like he was like already, his big flex was like real estate, like from the start before even the company came about. So, and then we moved into this house. So like, you know, kind of grew up and got out of the condo life. But yeah, you've always been really smart with just investing in general. But like he said, not everybody comes from that. Not everybody grows up that way.
I think if I had one thing, it would be like shoes or something like that.
You have a lot of shoes?
Yeah, I like shoes. But other than that, like I don't have a whole lot of big...
well, he's forgetting the part where he lived in New York. I mean, you get drafted to New York, so it's like a whole different lifestyle.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Up there, everybody's like designer this, designer that. So like, I mean, we were like trying to flex a little up front. Like, I guess we gotta like get some of this. So we were a little stupid. Like, and, you know, I won't say we've always been smart, but we definitely had some dumb purchases back in the day. But
is there anyone that you've played with that is just like always flexing? Like you got Odell rocking the Richard Millie in the game.
I mean, he got the bag though. Is it flexing if you really got
right?
Like,
that's true.
I mean, he probably makes more money off the field than he does on. So it's like, you know, he does his thing. But like, the NFL is, especially in New York, it's a lot of guys like.
New York was different.
It's a fashion show.
Yeah,
you're coming to the game, and you know photographers are there to see what you're wearing, and you're probably going on some social media account like, oh, this is what he's wearing today. So in that regard, it was a lot of pressure. Like, you can't come to the facility with some shorts and a t-shirt on.
Yeah,
you gotta stand out a little bit. But I mean, there's a few guys who have flexed a little bit.
What's the biggest contract you've signed?
I signed a 2-year, $8 million with the Panthers 3 years ago. Wow. Yeah.
And got to come home for it, so that was probably the best part. Yeah,
that's awesome.
To be able to come home and just
throw us like $10,000, man.
Come on, bro. It's invested, man. It's invested. I don't got it.
Yeah, you don't really ever see that, but it's.
Every time I see a big ass contract or something,
I'm like, man,
can they just throw me like just
something? Like,
what's one of y'all's favorite food spots around here? Where do y'all go to eat?
Ooh, Kindred is a big one. So yeah,
she likes Kindred.
Up in Davidson.
I'm probably my favorite, probably McCoy's.
Yeah, he's like real country. Like, he likes just like wings, and I'm like okay,
grilled wings, some collard greens and mac and cheese.
He's happy.
Like a good grilled wing.
That's his go-to.
That's my go-to.
We just did my 30th birthday at Steak 48, though. That's probably my other top restaurant for sure. But Kindred's really good. We love being up by the lake, so many good like lakefront restaurants. But get this guy some wings and he's happy. Like, it's real simple. Like, Wingstop, he's good to go. Yeah. Like, it doesn't take much.
So I know Brittany was extremely excited for her birthday because you surprised her.
Oh yeah.
I saw it on Instagram. Can you talk a little bit about that? The surprise, how you went about the thought process and doing that for her?
So I have a friend who works at Neiman Marcus, and she's like a stylist, and I've had her do a couple things for me, and she was on Instagram promoting something, some article of clothing, I can't remember. I was like, Brittany would probably like that. She's she's trying.
I haven't even heard this story.
She's trying to do something big for her 30th birthday. Yeah. I know she just asked me to try to find a photographer to come, and photograph the thing. So I'm like, let me get her some, something nice so she can stun a little bit. So that was kind of I was like, all right, let me set her up with this. So I, talked to her on Instagram, try to set up a time for her to go in and, have her pull some pieces. So I knew she would appreciate that. She would like that. So she made a whole reel out of it. And
guys, take notes. Best gift ever. It was so much fun. Like, she had all the fits picked out, waiting on me, and she knew the vision. And yeah, it was like the most fun shopping experience ever. So he killed it, and the fit turned out pretty fire. So yeah, he did really good. But yeah, it was a great birthday. So I appreciated that gift.
You got to make 30 special.
Yeah. Whew, new decade. Crazy.
Spooky.
Yeah.
We're getting there too.
Yeah.
29 in October, but 30 is definitely on the way.
30's on the way.
I got one more year.
I know. He reminds me every year, like, you're still older. Noted. Thank you. Yeah, it was cool.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, I mean, I think we're pretty good. I think we got a lot of key information. I really appreciate you guys showing love, letting us record the podcast at the house.
Yeah,
we appreciate y'all, man.
But yeah, this is the 2 Up 2 Down podcast. Like, subscribe, and also check out the Next Stop Collective as well. But
if you ever need an Airbnb in Virginia or North Carolina, you know where to go.
Yep,
hit them
absolutely.
up.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Baby, what you wishing for? Maybe you should wish it more. Maybe the world is yours.